Hello, welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy, and we are still working on Mildred's roses that I am creating in conjunction with Lindsay Zenor at nevermorecreations17.com. I will link her below. I will also link the Facebook group below. So now we are up to, which one am I doing today? The flaps, flips, and flops. And I went through, just to prepare so you wouldn't have to watch me do all of that, I went through and I put little paper clips on all of the pages that I knew I wanted to put flip-flops, flip-ups, flip-downs, flip-outs, flaps, all those, all of those different kinds of interactive elements that move pages on hinges and such. So I'm going to go ahead, and the very first one is right here at the front. But these paper clips make it very difficult to start from the front. So I'm going to start in the middle. And I know that right here I have already done, let me put that over here in case I need it. I have already done part of the flip out because I got ahead of myself. I did not finish it, however, though. I'm going to take some washi tape and strengthen that hinge right there. So I'm going to get my weights out. I got these, they're coasters, but they're very heavy. They're backed with cork. They're a really good size. They are perfect for weights. And I got them on clearance after Thanksgiving, and it was a really good price. So I need to decide which of my washies I want to use on this page. I think I actually want to go with does the black and white, well, it doesn't quite go. Let's see, I've already used this one a bunch. That doesn't quite go right there. Oh, look, I have a whole roll and a sample roll that somebody gave me of this same washi. I might go with that one. See, I didn't go ahead and make all the decisions ahead of time, but I did make some. Ooh, that's pretty too, except for I have brighter colors on this side. So I think what I'm going to do actually is make a double layer on the washi tapes. And I'm going to use this gold dot and this rose floral. And so I am going to need my razor cutter. I use this instead of scissors when I'm using washi. It just seems to work so much better. And these come in a package of either 3 or 4 at Dollar Tree. And I've got 2 of them that are in my set here. And I use them so often. They just work so well. And I have used this tape very, very, very much. So I am going to actually, I'm trying to get right centered where those 2 pieces of paper join. Okay, and that is so crooked because I'm working at such a bad angle. I'm going to turn it this way. Sorry about you having to watch me mess about with all that, but sometimes you need to see the whole process so that you know that other people have just as much issues with lining things up. Sometimes I think I'm the only person who has all this trouble with lining things up, and I'm not. All right, that looks much better. And for this one, I am tearing off at the ends, but a lot of times I will just, while it's still on the roll, I will take my razor cutter right here and just pull up. And I put those in my collection of washi tidbits, and I wanted a little bit more of this gold to use in the future of this journal because I use those in collage and in different places like that. So I moved everything and lost my other washi. There it is. And I'll show you on this one how I normally cut. I am going to center this one as well. And I will have that row of gold dots going down either side of the rose washi. Just like that. Stick my excess up there. And just cut like that. See how quick that is? And I don't end up accidentally cutting the paper. And it's definitely straight because that is a straight edge. Now I do try to make sure that I put this right away because I have been known to cut myself on it by grabbing something else that was near it. All right, and so I'm going to press down on that, although with all the paper clips or clothespins and things in there, right now it's not going to be great, but I will come back in and press that down even more. So there's one. Ta-da! And the second one is right next to it, and I'm doing basically the same thing, only now you get to see how I do this part. And this is the flap that I fussy cut out of this because I wanted the page needed to be lined up, but it was too long this way, but I didn't want to lose any of my filigree here, my scroll work. So I decided to make a flap so that if I couldn't see it on the front, at least I could see it on the back. And I'm actually not going to center this one because I lose part of the rose. I am going to bring it down to about here. And then glue it on. And I put the glue on my flap. So right here is the edge that we left loose because I didn't know if I wanted to put lace in there or not. I still don't know if I want to put lace in there or not. But I do know that I'm not going to be putting lace behind my journaling card. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this part down on this side. Except for I'm getting caught on my flap. There we go. Okay, so now that'll seal up well. Because most of these pages are double pages, they're just backed onto each other. Sometimes to give them strength, sometimes to just give them a nice look. So, that is lined up right where I want that. I'm going to put my glue on the flap. Making sure I get all the way to the edges of that little cutout point so that it doesn't stick up and get caught on things and end up ripping in the future. I'll just push that over. Now I had already trained that to fold, which means that I decided where I wanted it to be. I measured, I folded, I used my bone folder on it to help with the crease. And then I had a clothespin on it for a while, holding it in that position. So that kind of helped train it to just fold over easily. And so now I'm going to do the same thing with the washi. I just need to decide which washi I want to use. And I think that would be really pretty, especially up against that lace print. I'm going to find the beginning of the washi. And I will have to show you how to do something a little differently on this one because there is a large gap between the flap here and the card. And so my washi will be sticking through there and that could cause an issue. So I'm going to center this on that hinge. Line that up. Get my razor blade out again. And I am going to cut this tape off just shy of the end of the hinge. So it's going to be right about there, and I just pull. And the same on this end. Let's see, I'm not going to go just shy of the hinge on this one. I'm actually going to measure, eyeball this distance here and come in about that far on this end for balance. I'm going to tear that piece off and put it up here with the rest of my collection. And I'll burnish that down just a bit. Put my razor up. And see, when I fold it, you can see that red, that dark red washi right here. And that's going to cause an issue because it's going to stick to other things. So I'm going to pick another washi that complements. And it doesn't have to be a big washi. And the tape doesn't stick out on this side, so I only need it to be on this side. So I can use this skinny washi that has this gold pattern on it. And simply line it up with the edge right there. And once again, cut it off where I want it to be cut off. And I want it to meet the washi that's on the back side. So it's the same spot right there. Up here is a little trickier because it's a curve. I'm going to put my weights over here. And I'm going to take my razor and I'm going to curve it as I pull up on the tape, following the curve of the filigree so that I can match that. See, it matches right on the edge of that scroll work filigree, that gold scroll work. It actually extends the design of it since it's that gold washi. I like the way that turned out. And so there's another flap. Now, let's see. We've done 2 in the middle. Which one's the next one out? I think it's this one right here. And actually this one I already started to do because I wasn't thinking. And I just, on one of my cards that I had cut out, let's see if I have one that I can show you on. I don't think so. I think I've already used up a whole bunch of them. Give me just a second to flip through all this. Okay. We'll have to pretend it goes this way, but we're going from here. And right here, you can see a faint gray line of the frame that Lindsay had in her digital kit. And what I would do, over here I have the paper torn on the edge of the frame and torn on the edge of the frame. This is not torn yet because I'm not decided what I'm going to do with this. I may have to decide right now what I'm going to do with this. But on this line down here, I can fold and crease on the edge of that gray line. And I would decide where I wanted this to go. Let's say I wanted it to go here. And I would just put glue on this folded back flap and then place it right there. And that is one of the simplest flaps you can make. Just like that. All right. So we did this one. It's not finished. I need to do some other things because that's really kind of plain, although it does collage well with the red of my fabric flip. I think that what you see when you hold a page down is important too. I think it's important that all of this goes together, and this picks up the red here, and then the leaves are picked up with this green here. The gold on this card is picked up with that part. And I think that you need to, I wish I could just, there we go. We'll do it like that. And can you see the continuity that starts here? Goodness gracious. Let me get a couple more hands. Can you see the continuity that happens when you start here and then you pick up the red and you pick up the gold and you pick up the green? I have other things sticking out in here, so this is not finished. But I really think it's important to have that continuity when you have your layered pages, because that creates a collage all on its own. Alrighty, so we'll go over to this one, find the next one that was clipped. All right, this one is going to be interesting because I haven't done one like this. I just thought of this as I was trying to figure out where my flips and flaps were going. This is, let's see, what's it called? A flocked paper. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but it is soft and fuzzy on black cardstock. And it was going like this. And I need to make a flip out of this. I want it to be centered on this page, but I want it to flip out like that. So in order to do that, I figure out where I want it to be on here for placement. All right. And I am going to, after I get this lined up just where I want it to be so that all of my black edging is fairly even. And I'm going to grab one of my clothespins over here so that it doesn't move. And I'm going to grab another washi. A lot of my flips and flaps and flops require washi. Ooh, we've got the black here and we've got the roses here that are somewhat pink. So I think this is our washi we are going to use. Now for this one, I want to center my washi on this part because of the type of hinge I'm getting ready to put on here. So I'll pull out a length, and this washi is not as opaque, so it's kind of hard to find the center. So just do the best you can with what you've got. All right, get my razor blade out. And I am lining up on the edge of the rose paper, not the edge of the black paper, because I don't want to interfere with my flip. Tear that off. Again, lining up with the rose paper, not the black. Tear that off. Save the washi. All right, now, whoops, well, I'll put it in the drawer because I don't need to put it away yet. So now, I like that. That looks good. Sorry, I'm impressing myself, aren't I? So now, in order to make this a flip, we didn't put the washi tape on the edge so that when it flips out, it is actually going to flip behind this part. I don't know if I explained that. Here, I'll turn it this way. Because this page extends out from this page, by putting the washi where I did, it flips out like that. Okay? And so, when we flip it out like that, we will need to do the washi thing again. Do the washi thing. And once again, it's hard to see through this washi. And burnish that down with the thumb. Get the, ooh. See, that's why I put it away. I drop things so much. I am kind of losing my grip, not just on reality, but on a lot of things. Now that is very, very thin. So I am going to get my tweezers here. I can see what I'm doing. See, I turn it and it comes off immediately. So, except for that first part that I already stretched. There we go. I usually leave a little more leeway on the end. I don't think I realized how close I was to the edge of that. And so now it flips open. It is centered on this page here. And I'm going to take that same washi and add a strip right here so that the white part of the card behind is not showing. Now we'll use the same washi once again for continuity. That way it's aligned on this side and this side with the same washi. Don't always do that. Sometimes I like to mix it up a little more. But in this case, I would like for it to match. Left myself leeway up there this time. Grabbing a knife. Lining up with the edge of the page. And lining up with the edge of the page. And look, that even picks up kind of on the color of that rose there. So I like the way that one turned out. That's nice. All right, so next clip will be this one. And let's see, what did I plan for this one? Oh, this is one of the flip outs. So this one's fairly easy, except for I can actually show you instead of trying to talk you through it. This is one of Lindsay's printouts, I believe, from Vintage Image Club. And I tore along all of the edges, leaving the white space on this end so that I could fold it back, burnish it, just like that. And then I'm just going to center it in the middle of this back card after I put glue on here on this flap. I will have to move these to center it, but right now they're controlling things for me, so I'm good with it. Because sometimes I do lack a little control. Sometimes I act like my 3-in-1 Fabri-Tac whatever glue. No control. All right, so I am going to fold that back. Glue washes off. Sometimes it takes long, but glue washes off. So I don't worry a whole lot about getting the glue on my fingers. Need to scoot that out just a little bit further so it's even. And we will finish this page off when we get to doing the final pretties. But right now I just want to get the flips and the flaps and the flops. All right, and so there is that page. You turn it around and there's your flip out. Okay, next clothespin is this one. And once again, I am doing the same thing here. This is another flip out, except I want to make this a different kind of flip out, and I want to fussy cut around this to the bottom. So I'll do that. It won't be real quick, it'll seem real quick. All right, so there it is, fussy cut. Now I am just going to take, oh wow, look at that. I didn't even plan that, and my cut fit right where my fold is. I don't even have to trim that. That makes me happy. All right. So we are going to apply the glue to the flap. Fold it down. Decide where on the page we want it to be. And I actually want this one to line up all the way to the edge. Now I will come back in again. I will come back in and do something on that page. And while I'm right here at this page here, I purposely put in upside down because these little dots are actually hot air balloons. But hot air balloons didn't quite go with what I wanted to do with my page. And so I'm pretty much sure that they look a little bit more like perfume bottles when I do it like that. Just in case you wondered if you had to use pages right side up, you don't always have to. It depends on what your needs are. So you do what you need to do, or do what you want to do. It's your creation. All right, next closest page to the center, I think I'm wandering off, is this one. And I see the front of it, and I have no idea what I had planned for the back, so I have to open it up and look. Okay, what did I have planned for the back? Oh, I know what this was. And I left a wide margin because I wasn't sure how much of it I would need. But I need to actually get rid of a little bit of it. So this is my narrowest margin. I'm going to go ahead and try to make all of my margins about the same width. I am just eyeballing it. I'm not measuring. But I'm so close to this rim right here that I think that I can do this pretty well. And this print is also from the Vintage Image Club. And what I want to do with this one is actually do something that's going to be kind of like an accordion fold. It's going to come out and have a few layers. I'm going to find my paper that I want to use. That's not quite wide enough. That one is, but I'm not sure it's going to accordion fold. Let's see if I do it like this. See, now you get to see how my mind works or doesn't work. If I do it like this, actually line up just a little bit further in. Okay. The first thing I would need to do that would go there, and then this would go here. If I do this, then when I pull up, it would, yes, okay. So I know you were watching. Let me walk you through my thought process on that. I wanted to do something that had a little bit more writing space, but wasn't just in your face that it was lined paper, okay? So what I'm going to do, I measured, I knew I was going to have at least a 1/2 inch of paper that just was attached to this card, this journaling card. And then I folded up to the top of the journaling card. And then I folded back down, and I'm going to fasten this piece with a washi hedge. Not a washi hedge, a washi hinge, so that all of the paper is completely usable on both sides. Now, this is wider than this, and I don't want this to show behind it. So I need to look and see how much I need to cut off. And it looks like right about there should do the trick. And I can actually see my red line through the back, and so I can pull off of it to make sure that my line this way is fairly straight. And I'll just rip that. Put this in the save for later bin because I can use it most likely. I have a bin where I have small scraps. That means they're smaller than my hand from here to here. And I have large scraps, which means they're bigger than my hand. And I keep them right next to me because I can dig through that with abandon. All right, now, do I want it to pull up or do I want it to pull down? I think I want it to pull up. So, first thing I need to do is glue this flap here to the bottom of the page. I think I need to find one of those pins that you can put in the top of the bottle. I have these pins that are like corsage pins that work perfect for my little mini bottles. I do not have a pin that is fat enough for those. All right, so I'm going to turn it over so I can line it up with the bottom. I'm going to turn it around so I can do it from my direction. Let's see, and we're just going to edge that right snug up to the bottom of the card, because our first fold is just almost at the top of the card. So we have this hinge. We're going to put a hinge at the bottom so it actually pulls up and pulls down. Now I need to figure placement. And for this card, I want it in the center, I think. I may go for the edge and then do a little something on the inside. Yes, it's probably a better idea. I'll center this from top to bottom, and then what I have left on those sides is about where I will make my edge over here. So it still looks balanced, even though it's offset over here. This looks balanced. All right, here is where my washi needs to go. So I'm going to get my clips out again. Maybe to hold my paper in place so it doesn't slip and slide around while I'm doing my washi. Now, once again, I need to choose washi. These are the washis I have pulled out to work with. That one doesn't work, so this one's not going to work. That might, but it's a little dark. No, that clashes with that particular paper and that mulberry paper, as does that. That one's not bad. No on that one. No on that one. Okay, and it's between these two, so let's just audition them. Pull this out. We'll just stick that on there for a second. How does that look? It's a little robust. So let's try this one. Well, I hope I have a washi that'll work, since I said I was going to do washi. I'm sure I do. I just would have to go dig some out. I think that works. I think that going to go ahead and tear off a piece here. And get my paper straight. And using this line at the bottom as a guide, we'll put the washi tape down. Get my cutter out, the razor blade, cut off the excess off the edges. Ooh, I shouldn't. I kind of just smoothed those down and I shouldn't have. Okay. There's that. And that one. Whew. All right. Okay, I can remove these clips that are at the top. I can fold this down just to make sure that it's working, because right now I can still take everything off. Yep, that still works. So now I need to fold this down. And because this folds down and this isn't the strongest paper, I am going to put a little bit of glue just under where the washi will be, just to make sure that everything does what it's supposed to do. All right. Pull out an approximate length. This. And again, just line that up with that bottom line. Now, the bottom line on one side doesn't necessarily mean it's the same as the bottom line on the other side. So don't feel like you've done something wrong if your printed pages don't line up, or if your washi doesn't line up perfectly because you're using your printed pages as a guide, because they won't always be the same. Okay, and I may hide a little something, a little surprise or whatever back there. And so there is that. And I am probably going to, when we get to making paper clips and things, make one for right here or up here, just so that it doesn't flop all around. Because it may be a flip-flop, but I don't want it to flip-flop all over the place and get torn up. All right, so there's that one. Whereabouts are we? Let's go to this one. And this one is going to be pretty straightforward. It is an envelope, coin envelope, I think, some kind of an envelope. And it's going to be a flip down, and it's going to have stuff behind it as well. So it is just going to be glued right there in the center of the page, and I'm just going to glue on this flap. This one is super simple. You don't even have to fold anything. You just have to put glue on it. Now, I won't leave it plain and blank. If you have watched any of my videos, I do not really leave anything plain or blank. All right, and this one I want to center all the way around. I want to center from side to side and top to bottom. And all of the flips and flaps and stuff and flops, whatever, flip-flops, all that stuff I talked about at the beginning, all the ones that we're doing today are probably not all of them that I will do. When I do the final flip through, you may see things that you did not see me do. Let's see, that's something else. Oh, it's a paper clip, it's not a clothespin. There. Okay, looks like this one's next. Oh, that's what I looked at the wrong thing. All right, this envelope I have already fastened on, because that was on the putting in pockets. But I also want to do a flip-flop on the inside for more writing space and to add some interest to the page. And so this is going to be a opening, and it is going to be all the way into the inside of the page, just almost. I'm leaving maybe a 1/16 inch clearance just so that it doesn't bulk up the journal. But the way that I'm going to glue this is I want this to create a pocket underneath. It is going to get glued. Let me think about this. Here, here, here. Yes, my writing is right side up when I do that. Okay. So this one is going to be a pocket and a flip. Whoa. And an envelope and a big gluey mess all over my desk. Once again, my glue has no control. Alrighty, so we're going to snug this up to about a 1/16 of an inch. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly 1/16 of an inch, but you want to make sure you're not stuffed all the way in there, and that's going to hinder the closing of the book. Okay, so that's going to be a hidden pocket back there. And then right here is just going to be a part of a collage that I'm going to do later. So I'm actually going to leave that, and I'm going to put the clip back on so that I remember I have a collage that I want to do there. All right, and we have another pin right here. And on this one, this was just a pocket. It's just going to be a pocket. I forgot to make it on the last one. And I'm just going to center the black line or the black edging around the edge of the rose and glue and make it a pocket. So I might as well go ahead and do that now, even though this is not a pocket video. My glue is having some party going on today, and I think he needs to just settle down. Don't ask me why I said he. Probably because I live in a house full of men. All right, and I think I just did that wrong because I'm going to have an edge showing, and I bet all that glue. Let's see what happens. I'm going to do this, and then because I think I'm going to have an issue. Oh, look, that is so thin a lining that it really didn't mess anything up. Woohoo! Whew, crisis averted. And again, I love how the laciness in the background here is picked up in the laciness here. The rose, again, is over here. There is some darkness inside the rose that picks up on the black, and the black transfers to this coffee dyed paper here, and even on through to this black and white print. You can see the black, and I really like that effect. Once again, whole page collages. Let's see. Oh, I skipped one. Okay, this one was down far enough that I did not see it. This is also going to be a flip-flop. It is a simple flip-flop because it is just going to be taking this short page here and gluing this page behind it right there. And it'll just be that short little line that's glued together. And then when you open it, the whole thing just opens up. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on. Glad I was flipping through and saw that. Oh, good grief, glue. You know, I am pretty sure that I waste one of the small, the equivalency of a small bottle of glue just by what overflows. And I end up having to wipe off or rub off of my fingers or let dry and peel off. All right, and so there is that. And I will come back and do something on the inside there as well. But it will not be a pocket. It is just going to be the inside of a flip. All right. And I think one last page has a flip. And I think it might be different from the ones that we've done already. Let's see. Was it this one? It was this one right here. I took my paper clip off too soon and then didn't know which page it belonged on. And this is going to be a flip down. And I guess it is similar to some that we've done. I am folding right here on the edge of the print. I'm going to burnish that down so it's a nice, neat crease. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to create this as a pocket. Now I love how the pink here echoes the pink here. The pocket is short enough that when I get it into the corner here, it really doesn't hide any of that pink napkin applique. And once again, this will be one that I will want to put a paper clip on this page in order to keep it from flipping when it's not supposed to be flipping. And I'm going to snug that right up in the corner, right there, so that you have a bit of a collage look going. You know there's something going on back here, but what's going on in the front is pretty as well. And then when it flips down, you see writing space, but you also will have a pocket here that we will put something in. Those are some of the flips and flaps and flops and all of that good stuff that I am putting into this journal. Put the weights back on here because every time it's open, it wants to expand again, and I'm trying to train it to not do that. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that if you didn't learn something, at least you laughed at something. I hope that you find a little inspiration or motivation to get working in your own creativeness. And I want to remind you to be kind always. Bye.